Good evening and welcome to Prime Business with me, Emma Davis. A look at our stories. Shares of MTN Ghana on the stock market is expected to receive a major boost following the appointment of Stephen Blewett as the new Chief Executive Officer of MTN Ghana. According to some market watchers, the wealth of experience by the new CEO cannot be overemphasized in maintaining the dominance of the telecom firm in the capital market. Reacting to the development, head of trading at Republic Securities, Patrick Edemagama, said this latest change will send a positive signal to the market.
This is a very positive news, and we expect a positive impact on the MTN stock. Mr. Solomon Adebo has left a legacy that is to be championed by the new CEO. So MTN is one of the stocks with the largest shareholding in the country. We expect the market to react to this. Well, it's going to be positive because, with this level of company or corporate governance happening, changes in corporate governance of this nature bring positive news to the market because the market is expecting nothing less than the impact Celom has given to MTN and the group. And the fact that Celom is not also leaving MTN totally to a competitor, but it's more like a leadership restructure. There will be that supervisory or advisory role that will be playing over the country.
And Patrick, do you see the appointment of Stephen as a strategic move that will lead to the company doing well in the market?
Yes, this is a strategic move. Stephen has a lot of experience in the region already. So we expect him to bring more and add more to Celom Adedibo's impact in MTN. We know Celom Champions Ambition 2025, which is yet to even fully take effect. But this, we will expect them to add more to it and also lead MTN in terms of the 5G. So we expect more commitment. The market will be looking closely.
West African Regional Director for CATS International is advocating for the use of mobile money statements in place of bank statements for legal transactions. The latest payment system and oversight report by the Bank of Ghana revealed that the mobile money market reached 1 trillion cedis last year. According to Apia Kusi-Adomako, more transactions are being processed on these platforms. Hence, the need for government to consider mobile money statements in such formal transactions.
We have found the avenue, but I think there's still more that needs to be done. I think the essence of mobile money is to help people to move money fast. And we also need to see how, the more the money stays on the network, the more it drives, the network drives benefits. When people keep on also withdrawing their money from the account, the platform is kind of reduces its value. And so we also need to see both the steps, and we've seen how Bank of Ghana has also mandated this, and then also pay interest to consumers who leave their money on the network. And for me, as I said, that mobile money also drive the group of financial inclusion. And I want to use this opportunity to say that the embassies here in Ghana should now start accepting mobile money statements in place of bank statements, because now people's mobile money account is more active than their traditional brick and mortar bank account.
Away from telecommunications to the energy sector, government has paid a fraction of the $140 million judgment debt owed to commodity trading firm Trafigura. That's according to the former Power Minister, Dr. Kwabena Donkor. The $20 million payment was made on November 13, 2023. The company earlier this year began the process to seize one of Ghana's commercial properties in London to defray the debts. But Dr. Donkor says he doesn't think that this will be the last judgment debt in the power sector.
Government paid $20 million 2 days ago. stop them?
Well, at least they are beginning to pay. And that in itself is an indictment. Did we have to incur that debt? Did we have to incur that debt? And assuming that admitting that government decided to terminate, were we so inefficient or so much in a rush that we wouldn't even follow the termination clause of the agreement?
And you believe that, from what you are hearing, would that stop them from executing the action of trying to sell off our assets?
No, Trafigura has a lot of business in Ghana, and if the government negotiates in good faith, I believe they will hold on as long as the government continues to pay.
The Chief Executive of Association of Ghana Industries, Seth Chum Akwabwa, is calling on government to engage businesses and industry players before it rolls out its intended tax on carbon emissions. According to him, industry players must be informed about the dynamics of the tax before it is fully implemented to ensure adherence and compliance.
The report on training and advisory activities on climate protection for chemical industries in Ghana focused on how businesses are managing and mitigating carbon emissions from their operations. According to the report, 78.8% of companies involved in the study indicated that their facilities do not have any system in place to track greenhouse emissions. In an interview, Chief Executive of the Association of Ghana Industries, Seth Chum Akwabwa, called on government to engage players in the sector before it rolls out its intended carbon emissions tax.
When government comes out with a measure, it's an intention, but the intention has to be implemented before it takes effect. The implementation has its own dynamics, and for industry, as industry players, we need to know what the dynamics are. There are so many things that have to put in place. You need to be able to even measure the extent of emission. If you're going to tax somebody on something, it should be based on some facts and some basis. And if you don't have the system that measures it, how are you going to do it? So it's a lot of work to be done, and we would like to have further engagement with government. The fact that government has mentioned it does not mean tomorrow it's coming to being. We need to discuss it and see what the dynamics are and make our proposals as to the best way to go forward, either to implement or shift or whatever, but that has to be discussed further.
Chemical engineer and consultant Michael Boating added that industries need to be supported financially to enable them reduce carbon emissions.
The outcome is that we need advocacy, we need policy. The outcome is that the industries need some sort of funds for them to rely on to make changes. And please don't forget this, any change that you make helps you to save money and also save the earth at the end of the day. I can say that for industry, I'm always worried when I hear tax. We are competing as a continent, as ECOWAS, as Ghana. We are competing with other parts of the world, Brazil, Thailand, Indonesia, China. We cannot burden our industries with taxes. But all that said, what could be done is, look, we can say we are going forward to put up a tax, but please, if you prepare yourself, this is the fund that you can use to work and reduce your emissions so that the tax does not affect you so much. So you are holding a cane, and at the same time you are holding a carrot in front of the rabbit.
Businesses were encouraged to invest into reducing carbon emissions to ensure a sustainable environment.
Players within the construction industry have been urged to forge a collaboration with the public sector to ensure proper risk management. According to Chief Executive Officer for Infinity Build Group, there is the need for professionals to implement various policies within the space to drive growth. He spoke to Joy Business at a nationwide affordable housing in smart, sustainable satellite cities, communities and villages conference.
Construction industry is trying to strategize to look at when we start building what projects Ghana should have, because by the time we are done It's never ending because the population is growing, but we want to make sure that whatever projects we decide to do, we are looking at Ghana's prosperity. So, for example, once we start building, Ghana will need another dam. We have a lot of water. We can provide energy from another dam. The Institution of Engineers will be looking at that. There's been some work already done by the Ministry of Finance. So can we find the money to implement that? Can Ghana export energy to Togo and make some foreign exchange from that? We'll be looking at health. What's Ghana's potential for healthcare? You know, we have a deficit in health as well, where when you're sick, you can't even go to Kolebu because we are just too many. How do we address that as built industry professionals? Can Ghana make money from maybe health tourism? Those are issues we are discussing. Can Ghana make money from tourism alone? Kenya did it, South Africa did it. Why not Ghana? We are the visionaries as architects. So it's to make sure that the construction industry comes together and develops Ghana together with government. For so long, we've been sitting back saying government should do this, government should do that. We've been complaining. But architects have a skill for settlements planning, where we use Ghana's housing population census data to design settlements. Now we want that to happen so that people's issues with houses without toilets, houses without water, houses without electricity, it all brings a lot of suffering and it even makes them poorer. You know, so we are thinking about the ordinary Ghanaian who cannot afford a house. Your safety, your security, your access to health, all these have an impact on government as well. Government pays the money when we are creating slums all over the place because people build the way they can, no toilets, no water. We are making ourselves sick.
The United Nations Economic Commission for Africa says it is optimistic that 2023 United Nations Climate Change Conference, COP28 underway in Dubai, will fully operationalize the much-anticipated Loss and Damage Fund. The fund has been a long-standing demand of developing nations on the front lines of climate change, coping with the cost of the devastation caused by ever-increasing extreme weather events such as drought, floods, and rising seas. Here's Clavet Katiti, Executive Secretary of the United Nations Economic Commission for Africa.
Last year, actually beginning of this year, there was a study that was initiated by the G20. And they were looking at the resources that would finance the SDGs, but also the climate. And they estimated that 3 trillion would be needed up to 2030 that would finance the entire climate. And out of that, that would finance the climate and SDGs. But out of that, we needed 1.8 trillion. Now, this money is divided into so many different areas. It's an adaptation, mitigation, resilient, but now loss and damage, which is most critical. In as much as we mitigate, but there are already the damage that is happening right now. And that's why we needed this fund. And here we are very, very happy that at least last year in the COP27, they established the fund, the Loss and Damage Fund, which concluded really the entire discussion that is close to almost 3 decades. The COP28 has started positively with the adoption of the recommendation of the Transitional Committee on Loss and Damage. The fund, with now funding pledges amounting to 656 million as of yesterday, is really very encouraging. It marks the beginning of a very important era on our efforts to address climate change and its impacts. We are aware that there is so much work to be done to make the fund operational, but we are optimistic that before the end of this COP28, we'll have agreed upon the necessary arrangements.
Over 125 green, micro, small and medium enterprises in Ashanti and Western regions have received an enterprise development training to grow and contribute to Ghana's green and climate resilient economy. Country Director of SNV Ghana, Barbara White in Kuala, says investing in green startups will help drive sustainable development. There's more in the following report.
The Green Incubation Program affords beneficiaries access to markets, networks, and expert mentorship by experienced entrepreneurs and experts. The support comes to mitigate complexities and possibilities of collapse that scare many youth and women business startups. Of 125 green businesses in Ashanti and Western regions have completed the fourth session of the 4-year project. Country Director of SNV Ghana, Barbara White in Kuala, said startups in the green space need support and investment to navigate through the entrepreneurial world.
Businesses need ongoing support. Running a business is a very complex undertaking, and women who are so brave to go out and start a business, but from the inputs to the marketing. So there's a lot of challenges that they have to overcome, and there's also the investments that are needed to get the power, to do the marketing, and all of these other aspects.
The closeout and award ceremony officially brings an end to the Green Incubation Program by recognizing the work of all implementing partners as well as the innovative green entrepreneurs. Barbara White explained the project has achieved the target of tailoring assistance to the critical needs of green entrepreneurs.
What has been great about this is how we've worked with the hubs to tailor the program according to the most practical uses for the businesses, tailoring it so it's accessible for women that's suitable to their busy schedules. We've also tailored it to provide different supports for businesses through exhibits, greening their operations, linking to export markets where possible.
Project manager of the Green Project at SNV Ghana, Lawali Sada, is certain beneficiaries are viable to succeed in the market.
One of the key things we gave attention to is to deliver so that after the project, sure that at the end there are some organizations, the hub for the SMEs that can continue this work and expand the businesses of the various SMEs.
Some beneficiaries shared their experience of implementing green recommended measures to expand their businesses.
But after we came out of the SME program, we were able to use the learnings that we achieved through the program to really work on our businesses. And now I can boldly say that all these businesses that I know who participated in the SME program currently have been able to successfully build their businesses.
Through their training, I realized that I can't do everything alone. So I have to bring more hands. I have to now do more of market research. I have to do more of advertisement, and then let people know more about my business, so that if I get more customers, I can also employ more. So that is what we did.
Awards were presented to some SMEs under the categories of the Most Promising SME, Innovative Green Business, Best Female-Led Business, Most Transformed Business, Rising Star, and Overall Best SME. Reporting for Joy News, Clinton Yabua.
The Ghana Consulting Engineers Association is calling for a paradigm shift in investment for infrastructure in the country. The association says there is the need for a move from traditional infrastructure development to one that is deeply embedded in sustainability principles. President for the association, Magnus Kwashi, spoke to Joy Business at the 2023 Ghana Consulting Engineers Association Sustainability Conference.
The conference was to highlight the urgent need to invest in infrastructure in a sustainable way at the national level. Engineer Magnus Kwashi was heavy on reassessing the state of the country's infrastructures.
So in 1987, the Brundtland Commission was set up by the UN, and this commission defined what we call the sustainable development. So sustainable development is actually looking at development today that does not compromise the future. And over the last 30 years, we have been having meetings, discussions, climate actions, and so on, but we do not really see the issues of sustainability mainstreamed in the things we undertake. Now, generally, today we are talking about triple bottom line when we talk about sustainability. So we are looking at the issues of planet, we are looking at people and profit. Traditionally, we've done business in such a way that profit was the ulterior motive. But under sustainability, we are gradually asking for a shift from profit orientation to taking care of the people. So sometimes you go to a community, there are people there, we tend to want to move people to do developments and so on and so forth. Or if I should say, people need infrastructure. These are basic systems for every community to improve their quality of life.
President of the Ghana Institution of Engineering, Engineer Kobena Bempong, called for a collaboration between the public and the private sector.
The very definition of sustainability is meeting the present generation's aspirations without harming that of the future generations. And as you have rightly said, we are all looking for development, but development that does not think about the future is no development, because at the end of the day, all we are doing is digging a hole to bury ourselves. And I give specific examples. Now in Accra, to find sand to build, it is almost depleted. Now what a lot of developers are doing, and especially those tipper truck drivers, they are going into the surrounding areas of Accra, in Suhum, in Sawam, and all those places, and they are digging up people's farms.
The conference was under the theme, Sustainable Infrastructure. Can we do better?
That's all for Prime Business tonight. My name is Emma Davis. For more business news, do log on to myjoyonline.com. Have a good evening.